If you can't control your emotions, people will control you. And in today's world, that is happening more than you realize. Modern life is not just fast. It is psychologically overwhelming. Your brain is constantly being pulled in every direction. Notifications, social pressure, comparison, isolation, overstimulation, and emotional fatigue. What most people don't understand is that your mind was never designed for this kind of environment. It evolved for survival, for presence, for simple threats, not for endless information, not for constant emotional triggers, and not for the silent pressure of modern society that slowly reshapes how you think, feel, and react. In this video, you will understand what is actually happening inside your brain when stress becomes your default state, why mindfulness is not just a trend but a cognitive necessity, and how emotional regulation is directly tied to your relationships, your habits, and even your sense of identity. You will also see why so many people feel disconnected, anxious, or mentally exhausted even when everything in their life looks normal on the outside. Stay until the end, because what you are about to learn will challenge the way you interpret your own thoughts and may completely change how you respond to everyday life from this point forward. Stay until the end, because most people think they're just tired. But what's actually happening in your mind is way deeper than that, and once you see it clearly, you won't be able to ignore it anymore. You ever notice how your day starts before you even realize it started? No slow wake-up, no real silence. Just that instant reach for your phone. A screen lighting up your face while your brain is still half asleep. Messages, news, random posts, people's lives, opinions, drama that has nothing to do with you but still somehow pulls you in. And it doesn't feel like much in the moment, just a few minutes scrolling. But your brain doesn't treat it like just a few minutes. It treats it like an explosion of input. Because in those first moments of your day, you're not choosing what matters, you're absorbing everything. What happens next is subtle. You start your routine, but something is already off. Not in a dramatic way, more like background noise inside your head that never fully shuts down. You try to focus on work, but your attention keeps slipping. You try to relax, but your mind keeps jumping from one thought to another like it lost its anchor. And here's the strange part most people never connect. It's not that your life is too hard. It's that your brain never gets a clean starting point anymore. It wakes up already loaded, already reacting, already processing things that don't even belong to your present moment. Think about it like this. Imagine trying to drive a car in a city where every radio station is playing at full volume at the same time. You can still drive, sure, but every decision becomes heavier, slower, more exhausting than it should be. That's what modern mental input feels like when it never stops. And the worst part is how normal it all feels. You start believing that this mental fatigue is just life now, that everyone feels like this, that being slightly overwhelmed all the time is just part of being an adult today. But that assumption quietly pushes your mind into a cycle it doesn't naturally escape from on its own. Because once your brain learns to live in constant stimulation, silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Not peaceful, uncomfortable. So you fill it again. More scrolling, more noise, more input. Not because you want to, but because stillness starts to feel unfamiliar. And that's where something deeper begins to form inside your daily experience. A shift where your mind stops being a space you control and slowly becomes a space that reacts to everything around you without asking for permission. The strange thing about emotional reactions today is that they don't feel like reactions anymore. They feel like instant reflexes, like something inside you is clicking before you even get the chance to think. Stay with this, because if you've ever looked back at a moment and thought, why did I react like that? This is exactly where it starts to make sense. Can be something small, a message left unseen and not answered, a tone in someone's voice that felt slightly off, a comment that wasn't even that deep, but somehow stuck in your head for hours. And the reaction comes fast, faster than logic, faster than reflection, almost like your mind already decided what it meant before you had a chance to question it. And the real issue isn't that you're too emotional, it's that your system is overloaded. When your brain is constantly running on high stimulation, it stops doing the slow work of filtering. Everything gets processed at the same intensity. A real threat, a neutral comment, a random memory, It all gets thrown into the same emotional space. So what happens next is subtle but powerful. You start building stories without realizing it. Someone doesn't reply, and suddenly there's a meaning behind it. Someone changes their tone, and your mind fills in the blanks. Not because you want drama, but because your brain hates empty space. It would rather create an explanation than sit in uncertainty. And that's where emotional hijacking begins to show up in everyday life. You're not just responding to what's happening. You're responding to what your mind predicts is happening. The present moment stops being enough, so your thoughts start pulling in the past, mixing it with assumptions about the future, and packaging it all as truth in real time. There's also something people don't talk about enough. The speed of modern communication changed how emotions behave. You get instant replies, instant updates, instant silence. And silence today feels louder than it used to. A delayed response doesn't feel neutral anymore. It feels loaded, even when nothing is actually there. And slowly, without noticing, you start living in a loop where your emotional state is constantly adjusting itself to microsignals. A notification, a lack of notification, a glance, a pause, a shift in tone. Small things that wouldn't have mattered in a slower world now carry emotional weight they were never meant to carry. What makes this even more complex is how quickly the reaction passes. But the mind doesn't let it go. The moment is gone, but the interpretation stays. You move on with your day, but something inside you is still replaying it, rechecking it, trying to solve something that might not even be a problem in the first place. And that's where things quietly connect to something deeper. Because when reactions start leading your thoughts instead of your thoughts guiding your reactions, your inner world stops feeling stable, and everything around you starts influencing you more than you realize. And then there's the part nobody really talks about. That quiet feeling of being surrounded by people, messages, conversations, and still feeling like something inside you is slightly out of sync with everything. Stay with this, because if you've ever felt present in a room but not really in the moment, this is where that feeling starts to make sense in a very real way. It's not always loneliness in the obvious sense. You can be talking to someone, laughing at something, replying to messages, scrolling through social media, keeping up with everything like normal, and still feel the strange distance. Not emptiness, not sadness, something more subtle, like your attention is there, but your awareness is split in 100 directions at once. And it builds slowly. You don't wake up one day and feel disconnected. It happens in small fragments. A conversation where you're half listening because your mind is still processing something that happened earlier. A moment where you're physically in one place, but mentally replaying something else. A habit of checking your phone even when nothing new happened, just to avoid sitting in stillness for too long. Over time, your mind gets used to never fully landing anywhere. And here's the part that hits most people later than it should. When your attention is constantly divided, your experience of life becomes divided too. Moments don't feel as complete as they used to. Even good moments pass through faster than they settle. You might enjoy something, but it doesn't fully stay with you. It's like trying to hold water with open hands. Everything keeps moving. And socially, this creates something even more confusing. You start feeling like you're there, but not fully connected. Not because people changed, but because your internal state is always slightly elsewhere. Half in the conversation, half in your thoughts, half in whatever just happened, half in what might happen next. That split doesn't look dramatic from the outside. No one can really see it. But inside, it changes how you experience connection. Conversations feel shorter emotionally, even if they last long in time. Silence with people starts feeling uncomfortable, not because there's nothing to say, but because your mind doesn't know how to sit still in shared quiet anymore. And then something interesting happens. You start filling that gap without noticing. More scrolling, more background noise, more quick interactions that don't require deep presence. Not because you don't want connection, but because deeper presence starts feeling slightly unfamiliar, almost like a skill you haven't used in a while. The irony is that the more connected everything becomes externally, the harder it gets internally to actually feel connected to it. And that's where everything starts looping back into itself. Because when your attention is always scattered between moments, your life stops feeling like something you're living through and starts feeling like something you're constantly passing through without fully arriving anywhere. So if you've been following everything so far, you probably noticed something uncomfortable but real. It's not that your life is broken, and it's not that you're too sensitive or too distracted. It's that your mind has been adapting to a world that never slows down, and in that process, it slowly forgets how to fully stay in one moment without splitting itself in pieces. And maybe the most important thing to realize is this: your brain isn't working against you. It's trying to keep up. It's trying to process more information, more emotions, more signals than it was ever designed to handle at once. That constant sense of exhaustion, the emotional spikes, the feeling of being present but not fully there. All of it is your system reacting to overload, not failure. But here's where everything changes. Because once you see this clearly, you also start noticing something else. Not every thought deserves your full attention. Not every reaction needs to become a story. Not every silence needs meaning. And not every moment needs to be filled just to avoid discomfort. There's a quiet power in learning how to stay with one moment without escaping it. Not forcing anything. Not rushing to fix your mind. Just noticing how much of your inner noise comes from constant input, not from actual reality. And in a world built around speed, stimulation, and endless distraction, the ability to slow your attention down becomes something rare, almost like a reset for how you experience everything around you. So the real question isn't how fast your mind moves anymore. It's whether you're still able to choose where it stays. Because in the end, your emotions don't just reflect your life. They shape how you live it. If you're still here, it means this topic really connected with you on some level, and that already says a lot. If this video helped you see your mind in a different way, don't just leave it here. Subscribe to the channel because this is exactly the kind of content we go deeper into: psychology, behavior, emotional patterns, and how your mind actually works in modern life. Leave a like if this made sense to you, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what part hit you the most. And one more thing, if you watched until the end, comment the number 1, 2, or 3. I want to see how far people are actually going with these videos. Right now, there's another video on the screen that goes even deeper into how your thoughts silently shape your behavior without you noticing. Watch that next because it connects directly with everything you just learned. And don't stop here. There's also a playlist on the channel built exactly around psychology of behavior and emotional control. So keep going if you want to understand this on a deeper level.